Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Cabin in the Clearing. This is episode number 14. We are with one of our best friends ever and oldest friends to this day, Jessa Jade, local artist and designer as well. And here with my co-host, Guy, also known as Jakor.
How's it going, everybody?
Man? And Jessa, how you doing today? How you feeling?
Good. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on, honestly. So first off, I guess right now you're in town from BC. But you're out there right now doing designing and stuff with clothing, correct? Like that's.
Yeah, so I'm outside. I'm out in BC right now. Went out for the mountains and managed to stay for a really cool design job that I fell into. And so just home visiting the family.
What made you move out west?
The mountains, for sure.
Yeah, that was like the initial decision.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of. I've traveled quite a bit in the last little bit for the mountains. I'm a snowboarder, so that's kind of what's driven me for my travels. But now I'm at this point. I was doing a project for the mountain that landed me the job as a graphic designer. So
I was gonna say, I meant to lead in with that like you were originally out there doing like snowboarding work in the hill, but also getting to like kind of do what you enjoy at the same time while working. And like maybe tell us a bit about that. Like, how did you start out? And you used to actually like say that you snowboard to work, correct? Sometimes.
Yeah. I did a season out in Whistler a couple years ago, and I used to be able to snowboard down the hill to work, or take the gondola a lot of the days. I was just working at the Solomon store there, and then when I came home after that, I decided to travel to New Zealand. Did a couple of seasons there, and that kind of is where I started doing like these freelance little projects for custom graphics that represent where I was working. So it was just like the crew, we would all kind of get together. We would be able to put the name of the mountain, but then or the rental, like we were always the rentals department, or for a bar I worked at, and it would just say crew on it. And it was just kind of this cool souvenir that people could bring home.
Is there good snowboarding in New Zealand?
New Zealand?
Yeah.
It's hit and miss.
Okay.
The North Island is pretty brutal winters, like up on the mountain. In town it doesn't snow.
Right.
But on the mountain itself, they get rime ice like you wouldn't believe. Like it's pretty crazy up there.
Really? Yeah.
They have de-icers, like people who climb these towers to take all the ice off the chairlifts, because it just builds up and then you can't run them. So
They must be pretty high though, these mountains.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really? I've never been to New Zealand. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, and it's actually an active volcano as well.
Oh shit!
That
really?
mountain, yeah. So
they're
actually like
there's snow on top of a volcano, but it's not active. But it is active, but it's not erupted or anything.
I think it was like spitting rocks like just like last week.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh,
like
shit.
when I was there, it was 2018, and they were like, it is 100% gonna go in the next 5 years. And so
Is it like surrounding towns?
Damn, yo.
it is. There is a town at the bottom of the hill. It's called Oakuni, a little place that my heart still belongs to.
So what's gonna happen to the town if that thing erupts?
If it like does a full eruption, I don't know. There's a lot of like wildlife and brush first, so I don't know how far it would actually get.
I
don't know how it's done in the past, but yeah.
Yo, shout out to the homie Brazo, man. Stay safe out there in New
Yeah.
Zealand right now, man.
Well, he's in a different part too, right?
I know.
Yeah, but I actually got to ride on that mountain with Brazo. We went skiing
Really?
that day.
Nice.
And we got
Oh, really?
pretty drunk. It was great. Yeah.
No way.
Nice drunk skiing,
he
classic.
came and stayed with us. So
So I wanted to know, like, how did you get into graphic design? Obviously, you have to have like a type of like, artistic drawing background, right, so to speak. So I guess you've been drawing. Well, like, when did you even start drawing? And then at what point did you even take it seriously?
I was definitely drawing from a really young age, as long as I can remember. Horses was always like the first thing that I drew for like a really long time. And then leaving high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but
Very standard.
yeah, pretty standard. Everyone was going into like social social science, and like it was just so
Also
general.
standard.
I'm like, I'm not really interested in that. So, and then like, I don't know, I figured out I could go take art in college. I was like, well, that's cool. Like, let's do that. So I did the 2-year visual arts program at Heritage College.
Okay, I didn't even know you went to
Yeah.
school for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that program was a very general arts thing. So everything from drawing, sculpting, a little bit of Illustrator manipulation, video editing,
Really?
darkroom photography. Yeah, just a little bit of everything. It was really quite the program. And then I took a year off and
After college?
fell a little bully somewhere. And then I went back, or I decided I wanted to go to Dawson College in Montreal.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are the Montreal days
Yeah.
when you lived in the apartment.
Yeah.
I remember coming out and partying
Yeah.
and stuff, and like you were. That's when I remember seeing a lot of your art. Actually, like for the first time, I'd say in our friendship, but like just like prominent. Like in, you know, you had a lot of paintings going and like designs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've always kind of been creating on the side, you know, and doing little projects for people. But
So wait,
yeah.
you went to Dawson College for how many years?
I did a 3-year program in 4 years, because there, if you fail, each course is only given once a semester or once a year. So if
Okay.
you fail one, you can't carry on. So
Wow.
I failed a very large project, and ended up having to take a year to like work, and then wait for that like second semester to like take that course again, and then finish my year the next year.
Okay, so you were able to finish.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it was a very intensive course. Like we do everything there from package design, again, video editing, logo design, obviously, stationery, posters.
I didn't know you had so much like training background.
dope.
Like you have like what, almost like 5 years at least just in school.
Yeah.
Almost like.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Definitely learned a lot in school. It was, I really enjoyed being there, and it was a lot of hard work. Like compared to like people who are in university who only take 4 courses, but I don't want to say only take 4 courses, because obviously like university is crazy. But we were taking 10 in our second semester, like our last semester, taking 10 different courses. And some of them,
Really?
yeah. So it was like, I was there 12 days a week, like,
wild.
12 hours a week.
12 hours a
12
day.
hours a day?
Yeah.
Let's go 12 hours a day. Can we?
Yeah. 12 hours a day. Okay, so that's that's like 8 to 8, you know,
Yeah.
so to speak. So
Yeah.
that's a lot of time
Yeah.
invested. So then you took a year off. You went to Dawson College. So you're living in Montreal. How's Montreal life? Must have been amazing.
I loved Montreal. Again, another city that
Very artsy
has my
city.
heart. Yeah, exactly. Probably partied a little too much, but it was great.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all?
Yeah, it's no such thing.
Yeah.
Builds character.
Yeah.
Does.
But yeah, it was it's just great if you're an artist. Montreal, do it.
Totally.
It's super fun. I wonder what it's like these days, you know, like some days I'm like, oh, I could see myself maybe going back to Montreal, and I'm like, but is it going to be the way I left it, you know?
I mean, I was talking to a friend who lives in Montreal, and she actually recently moved out to BC, and she was saying something similar. She's like, Montreal is done.
It's not
And I was
the
like, what do you
same.
mean? And I was like, yeah, it's never going to go back to what it was, just
Yeah.
the nightlife and all that stuff, especially with COVID. Maybe eventually it will be similar, but yeah, I don't, in terms of, you know, so many places closed down. And so that's what she was telling me. I mean, I have never lived in Montreal personally. I've visited Montreal quite a lot, but I love Montreal, by the way. Shout
Yeah.
out MTL.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, you know what? I'm going to use this opportunity to also shout out our sponsor, Kayo-Tea. You can link it in the description if you're Canadian, on Canadian soil. He only ships
up?
nationally, not internationally. Unfortunately, not yet anyway. So yeah, look at Kayo-Tea because it's in the description.
Yeah, definitely. And here's a nice sip for you.
It's delicious. And my matching cup matches my
Kayo-Tea.
shirt.
What would you say that your current, or I mean, actually, yeah, your current style of art, does it like reflect anything, you know, socially or anything like that, or you just kind of create, like you have a, you know, people like to, like you were saying earlier, you like to draw horses, or like, you know, obviously now
Yeah.
you probably don't draw
Yeah.
horses, you know, do you have like a theme or when you're creating a lot of art?
Yeah, it depends on the job. The thing is I, in the last few months, especially years even, I haven't worked on things that are for me as much as they're for like I do a lot of freelance work for other people. So I'm constantly doing logos or packaging, or I just finished 2 of my friends' wedding invitations, you know, things like that are fun, but like they do take away from what I'd like to be working on. But yeah, well, my clothing line that I'm trying to kind of get off the ground here. I do try to kind of have.
What's it called?
Speaking of, just really quick, I was gonna say, what is it called first of all, and also like your clothing line, you were using recycled clothing, correct?
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and I think that's one point I wanted to bring up actually. So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So it's called Shaded Jade, which is just kind of a riff off my middle name, which is Jade, and. Shaded just because they're not perfect, you know. Jade's not, the colors in the jade reflect that, I guess.
Like the stone?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, interesting.
So my logo is, I mean, my boss was calling it a diamond. I'm like, it's not a diamond. It's a piece of jade. But anyway, it's fine. Yeah. So my latest like kind of winter design was kind of it's a mountain graphic, and it says Fountain of Youth. I'm really into typography and lettering as well, so I try to incorporate that when I can. And it's basically that the mountains have kept me young all these years, and like they're what drive me to keep active and make friends and like build this community and be involved in this community. That's what keeps me going. That's what's kept me young. But the mountains are melting, right? Like we've seen it every year. The precipitation is not like it used to be. This year especially was pretty bad. March was actually kind of turned us around a little bit, but otherwise we had a very dry winter, and it was like not normal for us. So for us at Silver Star, shout out Silver Star people.
Where is Silver Star?
It's just above Vernon, in the Okanagan. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Okanagan, so north of Okanagan.
Yeah.
North area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So through working there, I worked there for the last 2 winters. I created this really awesome, you know, community of people.
Wait, Silver Star is, you said it's a mountain. You're working on the mountain, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was working in rentals on the mountain. I've just really liked working in rentals because I like working with people. I like knowing stuff about skis and snowboards. And the people like I said, the people I work with are awesome. So my buddy and I, James, my first season, we got like this idea that we were going to do custom graphic again for the team. And he just like whipped up this really crazy like octopus thing that had like skis in one hand and like the buff waxer in another hand and like poles and like just this really crazy thing. He just like drew it on a piece of cardboard, and we were like, that's the design. That's what we're going to do. And I did the typography for the front, the left chest, and for the sleeve. And so we put this together for the team, and I got them printed in town at this place called Edge Apparel. Shout out Edge. I know they're going to want to listen to this.
Yeah. So wait. So what is Edge Apparel? Tell us a bit about that.
They are a mom and pop print shop. So they do t-shirts, and we create custom apparel, essentially. A lot of, you know, electrical companies or like mechanical companies. Or
when you reference mom and pop, is that like a family kind of thing?
Yeah, so their parents.
Okay.
Yeah,
so support the family expression. I never really thought about it.
Yeah. So Kirk and Miranda are married, and we are just 5 people who work there and a dog. We have a shop dog. Shout out Lou.
Amazing.
That guy's great.
Okay.
And so it's just the 5 of us, really small, tight knit team, local.
That's awesome.
You know, when they say like, oh, when you're supporting local, like you're paying for, you know, kids swim lessons basically. And that's like literally it. Like now that I've worked in that environment, I'm like, it's nice, you know,
of course. Yeah. Absolutely. It's giving back to the community, in a way, like we're trying to do that with, you know, just our podcast too, as well. Right. Like we're trying to interview, we're starting local, you know, and moving up slowly to, you know, eventually bigger names and stuff like that. But so I totally feel you on that 100%.
So they do embroidery, screen printing, and another option is heat press or sublimation. These are all different decorating techniques, if you will.
What are the difference between, you said 3?
There's technically, we can do 4 now.
Okay.
We just got a new printer that like over the summer. So screen printing, to put it briefly, you have a stencil for each color of ink that goes down onto a garment. So
I see.
And then there's like a squeegee that pushes the ink through the stencil onto the garment.
Right.
So if you have, one color, you can just do one color. Or if you have multiple colors, they need to get layered on top of each other.
I
Exactly.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
So we have a 7 color press, so that's the maximum amount of colors that we can do. But there are ways of layering these colors in a way to create the illusion that there are more colors than there are.
Interesting.
So this is what I'm trying to get good at work. Trying to play with what they call halftones, which is just essentially different transparencies of the colors, to layer them on top of each other, and then you get an idea of like an illusion that there's more colors that there are.
Fair, like technically like mixing red and blue paint together.
Exactly.
Instead of getting purple.
Exactly.
Sick.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get good at work. They've given me quite a bit of opportunity to play around with that, which is really, really nice. Anyway, I guess I kind of jumped ahead.
Well, no, I was just wondering.
But-
so that was one type of printing, and then there's like 2 other ones or 3 other ones, right?
Yeah. So the other one's embroidery, direct embroidery. So you load the garment. We do mostly hats and just like left chest jackets and stuff like that. But
Okay.
You load it into the machine, tell the machine what to do, and then it like
just prints it
sews
out.
the whole thing into it. So this is actually a really good, like this is embroidery.
Oh, it
here.
sews it on.
This is embroidery. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then heat press, which is basically, for anybody who knows what a Cricut is, it prints the design onto a type of paper, basically, and then
Oh,
it
right,
cuts
like
the
wax
line
almost.
out. Yeah,
In a way, I don't know if it's wax paper or not, but
yeah, it's like it's kind of plasticky actually. It's
Okay.
more like vinyl.
okay.
And then the machine cuts out the design, and then you have to physically remove everything from the design that you don't need to be pressed onto the t-shirt.
Kind of like you just like peel it off kind of
Yeah.
thing? Really? Okay.
This is probably the best opportunity for me to do this. I have a surprise for you guys that I
shit.
wanted to do on air, and I had
Here we
to
go.
keep it together because obviously we had conversations earlier. Anyway,
Oh, hold on. Let me just sip this Kayo-Tea real quick and get chilled out.
I for some reason I hate when people give me shit. I always feel bad, you know?
Oh man, nah.
Jeez. No
So-
way.
Think about it when you do it for people. You give something you want. Oh,
Dude,
fuck.
that's lit.
Yo,
That is lit.
yo, what?
so I kind of had to play with your logo a bit to like simplify it because, like I said, I had to physically go through there and pull out all the little pieces.
Really,
And
eh?
I have a video of it, so we can either link it or it
Yeah.
can be a little segment you guys
Yo,
can do later.
description
For sure.
below.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's your little logo.
That's
and
sick.
then
What's this? Oh,
Ain't no
my-
tomorrow. That's fun.
Wow.
That's fun. This is the coolest
Wow.
fucking thing. Please don't pan to me because I'm gonna fucking like.
Wow.
Oh, dude.
Wow, it looks lit. Jessa, that looks amazing.
Ain't no tomorrow. Are you fucking
Wow. Wow.
with me? Okay.
That is because we were envisioning that so much.
so that one's yours.
Oh, you have two?
Well, of course I have 2.
You gotta be shitting.
Oh my
me.
goodness. That looks so fucking sick.
I'm gonna try my best to keep this clean, but you know
Yeah.
how many times
Okay.
I'm gonna work out in this fucking
I'm
shirt?
not
Like-
working out in this at all.
I'm kidding.
So
I just remember
everybody
the
who's looking
tomorrow
right
guy.
now, we got the Cabin the Clearing logo, and right here, ain't no tomorrow guy. That's crazy because we were talking about this for like a
That's
couple podcasts
fucked.
on a
The
row.
first few, you
looks
guys were
hella
saying it
better
a
than I
lot,
thought
and
it
that's why I
would.
was like, "Yo,
Wow.
it has to go on a T-shirt." Like,
That looks. Oh.
so
Wow,
that is
honestly, thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries.
seriously, like that.
like sincerely, thank you. That is
Yeah,
fucking.
no,
that
all
is
good.
lit. Like we would. Oh man, we would want to print more of these, like for sure.
Yeah.
Now, I'm even more motivated to work with you now. To
Yeah.
be honest, wow. Thank
Oh,
you.
give me a second. I'm gonna put
I mean,
it
like,
on. Fuck.
The
obviously,
quality's pretty nice too.
they're really nice T-shirts. I thought I'd give you guys the nice ones. But yeah, so these are heat pressed.
Okay.
So if we do more of them, I would definitely want to screen print them. Heat press is nice for like small quantities, but also like the quality, like it's nice, but you're gonna have to wash them inside out
see how you,
and
like,
keep them
took
out of the
everything.
dryer.
These?
Yeah,
Okay. Keep them out of the.
out of the dryer because
Okay.
they tend to, yeah.
Yo, this.
I see what you mean though. You took out some stuff.
This
Like
is
that looks
wild,
lit though.
guys.
That's cool. Like that's good. Like that's
I had to
wonderful.
simplify it,
other
right?
level.
Like
Yeah,
there's just so many
100%.
tiny details, but yeah. So this is the other thing I kind of wanted to mention with your
So
logo
soft.
is that I deal with, at work, we need vectored logos, which is basically a file format that...
This is lit.
Yeah.
Like I'm like...
I'm actually kind of in shock.
Yeah, I'm in shock too. I didn't know.
Well, I'm glad I got your guys, like, you know, legit reaction.
Trying to keep my shit together, yo.
Yeah, with the fucking Instagram and shit. Yo, that's lit. That's lit. You know what's more lit about it is because it's our own quotes. You know? That's why it's sick. Oh, man.
Yo, and now it's officially coined on a fucking shirt, man, and no one can take it away from us.
Yeah, we're gonna have to copyright that real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking copywritten.
I mean, it's
now.
already copywritten.
As soon as this video goes up, it's copywritten.
Well, it's on our shirt now.
Yeah. Well, and also the video, it's like, what do they call it? Like, it's pretty much when you write a song, you put a video out. It's just like kind of creative content, I guess. Like, your creative
the rights to creative content.
rights, yeah.
Yo, let's show this. Yo.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Oh, it's all good. Yo, check it out. That's so sick.
Wow. Super grateful. Thank you, Jessa. I really appreciate that.
Oh, here we go.
This is a little bonus treat.
Oh, come
Stickers?
on.
No way. Really?
Dude.
So we do a lot of stickers
logo?
at work too.
Wow.
Our logo looks so much better seeing it like just like so.
So again, that's the
Well done
simplified
on-
version, right? Like
Well,
that's the
obviously
one I had to spend time
We're
on.
gonna order some of these for
That's
sure.
yeah.
If we can,
Yeah,
100%.
Like seeing it in
Wow.
tangible form like this is just like
It's
mind-blowing.
nice. It's a
Yeah.
nice sticker.
Yeah. We can do matte, we can do glossy, we can do transparent.
I mean,
we
this
can
is
do
just
whatever
nice
you guys
enough.
want.
Like, this
But
is-
yeah.
You know this is going
Wow.
on the laptop right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I want to like do that on my computer, but
Oh
personally,
no, you're good. Mine's already fucked, so it's good. I can just add to it.
So I wanted to know too, like especially being an artist and everything like that. Do you have like major influences, and like who influences you and what influences you in general? I think you were talking about mountains, so I get that 100%.
Yeah,
Do you
right.
have any like maybe, you know, it could be a book. Somebody, it doesn't have to be necessarily in the art world too as well.
Yeah. Well, like I said, like I've just been, I think the mountains are definitely the biggest thing because they've given me so much opportunity to explore things visually and just, to interact with people and create community, you know, like I also work with this I work with a all-girls snowboarding team. They're called Nothing in the Pantry. Shout out, girls. Love you guys. I'm wearing one of their hats right now. They're an all-girls riding crew, and they describe themselves as mediocre snowboarders, but they are not mediocre snowboarders. Like, they're very, very talented. And they just like hyping up the girls and kind of creating this like space for women to snowboard and feel like they're welcome in the community.
That's awesome.
And it's amazing because it's grown so much over the years. They do a lot of merch. And last year they did a poster contest and I won it, and we actually printed t-shirts with my design, so that was really nice. So again, like this, they've given me kind of an opportunity to explore things visually, and yeah, it's just been very rewarding. I wish I would have been a little more involved this season. It's been a hell of a season. So
Yeah, it's been busy. Yeah,
it's been busy. Yeah. But yeah, and they're just really cool, rad chicks that I like hanging out with.
yeah. That you've made friends, and
Hell yeah.
it seems like it's a great thing to do too, especially in like, you know, you weren't living out west, right? You were living in Montreal before that. Did you move from Montreal to out west?
I moved from Montreal to Whistler, and
Yep.
then I went Whistler to, I was home for a bit, and then Whistler to New Zealand.
New Zealand. Okay, you lived in New Zealand.
Yeah. I was
didn't
there
know
for
that.
a year at first.
Or maybe you
and
did tell me and I forgot.
Probably, yeah. Like everything else, yeah.
Were you living in Christchurch?
For a month, yeah.
Yeah,
That was
nice.
the first place I lived. when I got there.
Dope.
Yeah, a lot of people do because it's the cheapest place to fly into.
But I heard the vibe there like was just so welcoming and like almost. I've heard it compared to like Vancouver vibes a little bit. And could you attest to that? Like, is it kind of that kind of?
Yeah, it almost feels like a little Montreal though to me. Like it's got a lot of character, and it's just I don't know Vancouver too well. Like I've been through, but.
Oh yeah, sorry. I guess I should have phrased it more like West Coast vibe, like just the very like kind of relaxed and like easygoing community vibe that they have. Like, I've just heard that about New Zealand. Like everyone's really chill.
Everyone's amazing there. Like if you're lucky enough to be friends with like a local, they're gonna show you all the good spots, and like that's the shit. Cool. Yeah, exactly. We definitely got spoiled while we were there. So
nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess to back to what you were saying about what inspires me. Visually, I don't know. It's hard.
Even on like Instagram, there must be a couple like artists that you follow that.
Oh yeah. That's
I feel like Mother Nature is one of your biggest influences.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely a lot of that in my art. There's actually this person that I went to school with who's doing really well. Her name is Luna Charlotte, and she just blows me away with how much she's grown as an artist in the last little bit. She's like business owner and everything, and she's doing really crazy stuff. Also, I
remember her. She does all the and a lot of really good octopus paintings too. Right?
Yeah, she just released like a tarot card, like octopus tarot card deck, and it's freaking beautiful. It's like holographic stamping and stuff, and it's wild. But there's this tattoo artist I follow actually. BB Hurricane is her name, and she's out of Montreal, and she's just like a light. Like I'm just constantly following her stuff. She's freaking amazing. She's so talented. She only does hand-poked tattoos, and she's the queen of it. Like I follow a lot of hand-poked tattoo people, and like there's no one else that's doing what she's doing. She does full massive back pieces, and it's just it's incredible. And you would never know, like if someone told you it was stick and poke, you'd be like, oh yeah, or you'd be like surprised because it's so perfect.
You've dabbled right a bit with, well, I know you have in stick and poke for sure.
Yeah. So that's a little side hustle I got. Definitely something I really enjoy, and I would love to keep going on for sure. It's hard though because the whole industry is very kind of frowns upon self-taught tattoo artists. So,
what would be the other side of that though? So you're saying self-taught. I guess is there like a school normal? Like I'm not familiar with it. I have a back piece.
It's based on apprenticeship. I think most of the time.
Right?
Yeah,
like it's like artists actually apprenticeship with somebody until they.
So people work extremely hard to put really really good portfolios together to be able to go see an artist and be like, okay, this is what I can do. Please train me in your ways. And what I've heard, like a really good way to do it is to go get tattooed by the person who specializes in the style that you want to tattoo. Like if that's what you want to, if you're into American traditional, go see the American traditional people, get tattooed by them, develop that relationship. And then maybe if you're lucky, if they like you, they'll teach you.
So there's no other way? Like, is there like schooling for tattooing?
No, there's like courses and stuff that you can do for like bloodborne pathogens tests and stuff.
Okay.
But there's nothing like super official that's online or anything. You have to be taught by somebody else.
Really?
And it is a very...
That's the system,
Oh, totally. Well, and it's a very personalized thing too. And it's like kind of vulnerable in a lot of ways too, because it's like, it's your body and everything. So I feel like it's almost like building that trust in someone that's like personally working with you. You get to see how they are, how they interact with customers, that kind of thing. And it's like you're building that sort of foundation of like, okay, we not like gang initiation per se, but almost like that's that sort of idea.
Well, exactly. And I would love to be included in that gang one day.
Yeah. Well, gang. Fucking, look at this phoenix on my arm right here. It's got beautiful shading, beautiful line work. It was my least flary tattoo.
Not
Followed
as
by yours truly.
Yeah, thank you.
Yours truly.
And what
doesn't
do you
make
think?
sense,
Did you think it was like as painful as like
No.
your other tattoos?
Actually, it didn't hurt that much at all. And honestly, just like the care you had in like wearing gloves, bringing your like portable, unit,
Yeah,
having
kit.
sanitation kit, like everything like that. You had the second skin stuff, like it was good to go.
Yeah, I do what I can, like that's the part I've tried to focus on is like I use tattoo needles, tattoo ink, like I try and sterilize the situation as much as I can. I've done a lot of research on YouTube and stuff, so.
And at the end of the day, it's consent. People are letting it happen.
Well, that's the thing.
well.
I try to be transparent about the fact that I am self-taught, and I'm still learning. But the beauty is in the imperfections, in my opinion. Like 100%. I hope other people see it that way.
Well, that's just I feel like that's like in any type of art or platform that you use, if like especially with music too. You can be the most critical person on your own self. At the end of the day, you have to kind of accept that imperfections are imperfections, and that kind of what defines the art too.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, for sure. I think hand poked tattoos. I don't really like the term stick and poke. I prefer hand poked, but it's an aesthetic, right? Like you're either into it or you're not. And there are people that are really, really good at it. Not gonna lie and say, my first few were a little rough, but
of course,
just a couple of brave friends. You
gotta start out somewhere.
Yeah, but
so
I think I've developed it into something that people really like. So I was actually going to be tattooing a couple people while I'm here this trip, but it ended up being just so overloaded with other things.
Well, for sure,
it's not going to happen.
You're visiting for a couple days, and but what? So I wanted to go back on that thing you were saying about. Recycled clothing.
Right.
What does that look like? Like where do you go to get recycled clothing? And is that for your personal, side
that's
hustle,
for my brand.
business,
Yeah,
or
exactly.
Okay.
So that's the Shaded Jade project. Again, beauty in the imperfections, right? So I source a lot of my stuff from thrift stores. So I'll go in and I'll find, neat, clean blanks.
Shirts or hoodies or anything? Just shirts?
Yeah, just with t-shirts now. I have a few like button downs just to see what people are into.
Right.
Hoodies almost always are like really ratty and like they're not very nice. T-shirts are like, you can find really nice t-shirts. Nice hoodies are hard to find. So I've actually gone, most of my stuff is a mix. So, and everything that's brand new is made in Canada, like 100% manufactured in Canada.
Really?
So then what I'll do is I'll accumulate all of these pieces into a batch.
Even the shirts?
Yep.
They're made in Canada?
Not those ones, sorry.
Okay,
but yeah, I do have some.
But for your
for
line.
my brand, yeah.
Okay, nice.
So I've kind of, what I do is I accumulate this batch, right? So I've got some stuff that's brand new, made in Canada, and then the other stuff that's recycled. And then I print on them. I come up with my design. I've got 4 different designs out. And I would like if people followed me on Instagram because I'm trying to build up this brand new one and it's hard.
What was that? Well, obviously for anybody who's listening, we're going to be dropping all our stuff in the description, so you guys will be able to, if you like what she has, you'll be able to make some purchases for sure. You got an online store? I do have an
Etsy. Yeah.
Etsy, okay.
Doesn't have everything up there. Okay. So this is the challenge with dealing with batches of things that are all a little bit different, is that the time that goes into photography is like, it's a lot. So, and then editing and creating like this content thing, I'm really not good at it. And I don't love doing it. So it's hard for me to like put my heart and soul into this when I'm not receiving like the feedback that I want, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But we could work as a team together if you want.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like,
yeah,
this is kind of where I'm going with this.
Like, where,
sorry.
I'm not going to
guys.
claim that I'm like super, super good at social media, but I definitely like doing it. I have a passion for it. I mean, I helped Kayo-Tea, like I've mentioned this before, I helped him build his website, but it was a Shopify. So it's not like the most complex thing to build. A lot of people can just learn it and do it on their own. But
a lot of people take the time to learn it and do it on their own. That's the key.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah. I ain't no tomorrow guy over here. It says it on the shirt.
I had spent so much time, like COVID summer, this is when this whole plan was kind of hatching, because I've always kind of wanted to do garments. And like I said, I've done garments in the past for teams and crews. And I actually just did 3 designs for Silver Star, even though I don't work there anymore. 3 different departments reached out and were like, we want your art to represent our crew, essentially. So yeah, I did 3 of those. And anyway, it's super fun to do that kind of thing, but at the same time, I want my art, like, on stuff. I think people might like my art. You know what I mean?
100%.
I hope.
Well, people are already looking towards you as a resource for their artwork. Then it's obviously making an impact, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
What was that thing I saw not too long ago? It was like, it was, I think there was a couple hoodies.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know if that's yours or someone else's that you worked for or that you helped them do or you designed something, but it was like, I think there was one that was purple, one that was blue, and had all these crazy sick, like I think the one was of a wolf and like other like astral designs and stuff like that. The space. What was that from?
If you're talking about the tree design, or what I call my tree of life design, but it's got the bee and the whale, the bird, and the...
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
So that's what I had done over the summer. That was
Okay,
my
that was yours.
summer project. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the like original design that I did. And then after that, I made so I'm really into typography and letters, and I had kind of like this half-assed jumble of them, and I put it all together to create the word fuck, but it's really pretty. So it's like, if you just look at it really quick, it's like, oh, that's really nice. And then you look at it and you're like, that definitely says fuck. Okay.
No way.
Yeah. So that's
dope.
That's printed onto bamboo crop tanks right now. So it's bamboo.
Must be nice.
And they're made in Canada. Yeah.
Nice.
It's a really nice fabric. It's super
Yeah, I was gonna
soft.
say it
and like
must be nice.
and
Yeah,
it's-
fabric. That's
and
what it
it's
was.
more of
Lost
the
my
like
words.
bamboo's pretty sustainable. So
fairly eco-friendly, and it's pretty light, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like really like airy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's super
Go
nice.
bamboo.
Yeah.
Actually, I've had going camping, and I know we're all here. We can all attest that we're big fans of camping. We all
100%.
camped together on Eric's land. Yo, shout out Eric Covey.
Yeah.
And shout out Joe. He's got a plot of land too now. Yo,
He does.
he owns his own little section, you know. But yeah, it's like I find like I used to use these bamboo plates and cups that I actually bought from, and they were just like hard, like almost like solidified bamboo, I guess, whatever. But yeah, they actually worked really well, and you could wash them very easily, and like just to know that it's not like it's not something that's going to be wasteful or like you said, more sustainable, I guess is what.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
trying to
because
say,
like organic fibers are going to decompose properly, right?
yeah,
Really?
And that's the big thing, like polyester, like your shirt's 100% cotton, by the way. But
Sick.
like, polyester's in everything, and it's not going to decompose. And
There's so much like
and
clothing
acrylic
waste
and
too
like,
as well.
oh, it's
The amount of waste.
freaking
I don't know the
horrible.
numbers.
No, it's even what you're saying. It's so true. I agree, because that was a point I was going to bring up earlier. Is like thrift shopping. Like you could almost essentially do that on a larger scale. Over time, build your brand and then do it on a larger scale. And like people love thrift shopping now, and I think
Yeah.
like a lot of people in society are moving towards like things we've talked about before, more sustainable, more locally
Yeah.
sourced, whatever, supporting each other as communities and stuff. And
Yeah.
it's like, it's kind of cool, because if you did that on a mass scale, it's like you probably wouldn't actually have to charge all that much. Like to for someone to justify that it's like, oh, it's too expensive because it's like local or whatever. It's like, but you could actually make something out of it,
Yeah.
and get.
So that's kind of why I was trying to do this mix of things. Like I get that not everyone's going to want to buy a $40 made in Canada t-shirt, but at the same time, not everyone wants to buy a used t-shirt that I printed on.
Exactly.
So it's like, that's kind of why I'm trying to do this mix where I'm like, there's something for everybody. And the
Both
stuff that
worlds.
I've recycled is going to be a lot cheaper because I didn't spend too much on the actual blank, right? What we call like a blank garment. And again, back to the recycling thing, I do definitely, that's the point. I don't want to be ordering. So like I said, when COVID hit, I had spent a lot of time researching different ways to get my art onto garments and get it into the hands of people. And so there's things like Redbubble and Society 6 that print on absolute or Vistaprint even. Like, they print on absolute, like, the worst garments ever because they fall apart, they shrink, they're not made sustainably whatsoever. They're made in Lord knows what type of conditions. So I was really trying to avoid those situations. But the bonus with like Redbubble and is that you just upload your art and then people can go onto your shop and pick whatever they want with your art on it. So they have this huge selection of, you know, tote bags or mugs or stickers even, or, you know, whatever you want. But you have no control over what's going out, what's being sent to people. So I did order a few things from Vistaprint just to like test it out. And it's just like, I don't know. Like, it's not worth it for me. Like, that's not, it's quality control, right? I don't want to be trying to charge like, you know, even $25 for a t-shirt and it's not good quality. Like, I'd rather spend the time and have control over every single piece. And that's the other thing is I'm screen printing these myself, right? Like from start to finish, I've done everything. And so, yeah, I didn't really want to be printing all of these big batches and then being stuck with things. But at the same time, like, if I'm the one doing it, then it's better. Like, I didn't want to like order 48 of them off of some random
100%.
place and then just being like, oh wow, these are not what I wanted at all. So falling into this job, it has given me the opportunity to do that on my own, right? And to be able to print on my own and do everything from start to finish by myself. And it's been really incredible. So just going back to how I got that job was last year working in the rental shop, we decided to do, again, another run of custom hoodies. We did jackets, actually. We did long sleeves and we did like anorak champion jackets. And when they called, or I was like setting this up to order it through Edge Apparel, and I was talking something about file formats or whatever, and she was like, you kind of sound like you know what you're talking about. Do you want a job? And I was like,
wait, where'd you meet this lady?
She's the lady that runs the print shop.
No, I know, but where? Like, what was that? Like, what was the setting? Like, were you on the hill or something? Or
yeah, so I had spoke with the head of retail at Silver Star. Shout out Lou if you ever listen to this. I don't know, but she's great. And she told me to get my stuff printed at Edge because it's in town and it's local, and she works with them to do all the retail stuff at Silver Star. So all the t-shirts that are printed at Silver Star or a good chunk of them are done at Edge Apparel. So it was through that connection that I was like, that we went and did our own thing. And then, yeah, they offered me the job and I was like,
when you showed up there to go print or?
Yeah. Well, I wasn't printing at the time. I was just going to be ordering from them.
Okay, and then when you went to order from them, you were like talking to them, and that's when you dropped some knowledge.
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, you know what you're talking about. And you're like, oh, that's convenient.
we need someone like you. I
studied over 5 years for all this shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way to do it, though.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and this is the first time that I've worked like professionally, full time doing graphic design. Because ever since I've just been either serving or freelance, always freelancing, right? I've always got something on the go. Something that's overdue.
No, I've always had mad respect for that with you. Like, you've always like hustled a lot, whether it's on the side or like full time. It's just always like you put in the work.
But now you got a place where you got a full time job, which is in the field that you like, you know. And then second of all, you have that resource to like start doing projects like, you know. Like this is another project.
Exactly. Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's true. To put the contrast on it, it's like sitting here. Well, that's kind of what we're hoping to achieve as well. It's like hopefully we do this enough and it gets good enough that it's like we can just do it all the time. You know, or stuff like this all the time and not have to rely on it.
Well, and that's the thing, right? When it comes to art, I've always said, like, if you're not going to do it until it's the only thing you do, right? Like, you're not going to make it as an artist until that's literally all you're doing. And it's having a full-time job that doesn't play into what you're working on. And so having that now is awesome because, again, resources, it all comes back to like having the resources and the support. Like, I've learned so much working for Kirk and Miranda. I always kind of joke and like, what they haven't paid me in money, they've paid me in knowledge. And
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. Awesome. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, yeah, exactly. You know, like, you know, I got a full-time job and he has a full-time job too. And it's like, there's been times where I would play live and I was just living like as a musician, you know, playing gigs, bar gigs, you know, you get $150 for like 3 hours of music. And it's like, at a certain point, it was like, hey, this is obviously not popping off for me personally at that point in time. What can I do differently? And like, so maybe if I get a decent job, you know, with decent money, then I would be able to live properly and then start still hustling after work because, you know, you finish work.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, what do we do next? You know, it's like you put in those hours.
What can you do tonight?
And a lot of people do make that transition. They do their you know, their 9 to 5, and then until they save up enough money, and then they start their craft, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, when like it picks up, they're actually able to go do that full time. And after that, it kicks off. That's what I was kind of trying to like do myself.
Yeah. Well, and you guys have set yourself up for that now, right? Like, look at this. This is amazing. And I don't know. It's gonna go places, I think.
I'm hoping.
Well,
I mean,
likewise, yeah.
I mean, the thing is, you know, I said this on the last podcast too. Is 90% of businesses fail
because they stopped.
Stopped. You know what I mean? And I just think that we're just at a point in our lives personally that, you know, I don't see it stopping. Like it would be cool to even branch off. Like, you know, we're in our studio right now. We got this cool table. It'd be cool to actually have like a studio, you know, where we could do even mixing and recording, you know, music and stuff like that, and just step it up to the next level. But I feel like for us, the next thing to do is merch. You know, and yeah, because people like to support. You know, people like to buy merch, and it funds us, and we can reinvest into our craft. And so it's a win-win.
It's funny too because as cliche, or not cliche, but like as old school of a saying as this is, I've been thinking about this. I think it's a Wayne Gretzky quote. But you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's like it's very simple, but it's very true. I've been thinking a lot more about it, and just more so the fact that and I've mentioned this in other podcasts as well, but just like you do go through failure regardless during your journey. So it's like, why not just take that shot, and like if it fails, at least it happened, you know? And I know that sounds like an obvious thing to say to people, but sometimes you just need to reinforce that idea, right?
It's
like
all
constantly.
part of the process, right? And I guess I'm just trying to work through this, like I said, building a new Instagram where I was like, okay, I'm like literally starting from scratch, like 0 followers, but I want it to look really cool at the end too. Like if you go on my page right now, I'm working through 36 days of type. So I've actually created a new letter and a new number. There's going to be all the letters and then 9 numbers. So at the end, I'm going to have this whole like typeface, like a font, right? Like, so that's kind of what's going on my Instagram right now. And I'm just trying to work through that to have content, you know, to like be posting almost every day.
Well, look, I mean,
like
posting every day, like, you know, it's a lot. And the thing is, but people like to see like, you know, the story behind it too, right? So for instance, like if you were just trying to like create content, well, you are the content, like in a way, right? Like your brand is the content. So you can always post like, you know, little snippets of like, you know, those maybe those time-lapse videos of just like the process of you printing and then the final result, or like, you know, like even just telling a story. People love to engage with that, right?
So true. I actually heavily agree with that, because like I find sometimes I get in my head about that. I'm like, oh well, people don't want to see all the shit all the time, but it's like, really, like if people are fans of yours or like you as people and like what you're doing, it's like they just like you, like they just like you in your natural environment. So they're gonna, you know, you can't
be the judge either of your own content, right? It's not up for
That's
up for
my
you.
thing.
It's a fear factor too.
Like 100%. I hate showing people my stuff.
Sometimes you just have to post it and not give a fuck, and like other people will be the judge if they like it or not.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you just don't give you just try and separate that. I mean, sometimes it can be hard because yes, you know, it's your art, you're in love with it, you know what I mean? So it's like you're your best critic. But
I think that's kind of where I'm at now, where I'm like, I'm missing. So like I said, just starting this thing, I don't even think I have 100 followers yet, and I'm trying to get there. And when I do, then I'm gonna add this next layer of authenticity, right? Of just like showing freaking everything that I'm doing, and or even if it's just like sharing something design related that I thought was funny, or like, yeah, that's kind of where I want to go with it. But yeah, it's showing your stuff is hard, guys.
Oh, totally. I get it. Only in the last year we learned to actually accept it and do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we've just dived into it.
Yeah.
You know, so we totally feel you on that. I mean, it's just a fear factor at the end of the day.
Matt, even sharing Instagram stories, like it's like people see, that's the thing where people miss that without having real conversation with each other. It's like, you know, you got a bunch of these followers like watching stuff, and that's great, and they're friends of yours and they know what's going on, but they don't see like kind of like that. Sometimes I'm like sitting and like just struggling to post something stupid like me telling a story about something that happened that I just thought was cool, and I just like in my head right away I was like, I want to share that, you know, like just because it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then it's like I'm writing it down, and then you almost like stop, and it's like like whatever, like who cares, you know, like why am I even bothering? And it's like, well, just I don't know, just share it. It's like if people don't want to read it or something, then they can skip by it. But like
exactly.
why should you? You know, it's like it's so weird how that.
But people see it too, and sometimes they don't like it. You know what I mean? Sometimes like I'll do it too. Not like that it's against anyone personally or like with malintent or anything, but you know, sometimes you're scrolling and you just like you don't have that energy to just like, okay, I'm gonna like this photo. But I saw it, you know, it's in my brain. Like I saw it, and that goes a long way. And people forget that, I feel like.
I think I deal with really bad imposter syndrome, you know, like when you feel it, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Like where you feel like you're not good enough and you're not like, no, who is gonna like this? Like look at that 100%. Other person who's doing something, trying to do the same thing, and like they're doing it so well. Like there's actually a company out of Ottawa called Occupied Mind. They're freaking awesome. They're just two girls running this really cool little clothing brand. And I think they employ one person, and they do all their own art, and they work directly with studios for the printing. And it's like everything's sustainably made in Canada. And I'm just like, that's it, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
but
you know,
I know it's not good to like compare yourself to other people, but
no, but there's I mean, from what I don't even see that as a comparison. I see that more as like something to be inspired by. You see that, and you envision that, and it's something that you would like to replicate, but in your own, you know, creative way. And there's nothing wrong to look at it that way. I think it's better to look at it that way. It's more, you know, I'm a strong believer in positive criticism, but also positive, you know, being competitive with other people, right? And you know, you're just going to be learning at the end of the day, and you can do it. There's nothing that says that you can't.
Yeah.
So I think understanding that and kind of looking at it differently might help the person, or you know, whoever wants to do that type of thing or whatever it is, music, art, should definitely take into consideration.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I love about this podcast, because every time I listen to it, I'm like, yeah, I gotta go do something. You know, we like kind of build on it and just keep going, and we'll get there.
You know, we're all human at the end of the day, and you know, we make mistakes, but
100%.
It's just about keep going. And doubts are normal. You're gonna have doubts. You know, it's a completely normal thing. But overcoming those doubts makes a huge difference. Yeah,
and actually, you know, that ties in really great to another point I kind of want to bring up, actually, if you wouldn't mind. And it's maybe a little bit of a touchy subject, actually, but it's something that's been on my mind, actually, lately, and I wanted to bring it up. So I just also, speaking of just talking about, like, people in general, I guess, and community, but also because you've actually, like, referenced, like, the females working in the industry a lot and trying to strive for... in business and things like that. And I'd also very much like a female's perspective on what I'm about to say. So it's like, it's just, I've noticed a lot of, and this has always been an issue in just like, you know, general misogyny and like the way like guys sometimes like treat women in business and things like that. And just something I've noticed is like, a lot of guys are very comfortable thinking that they're entitled to a woman's time and like her like attention. And it's just something that's been frustrating me a lot lately, and I just wanted to maybe ask you about like being in the industry and maybe even working at bars and stuff, like if you've had any sort of like specific interactions like that where you think, and it's like I think it's becoming more prominent that, you know, people are trying to be equal and things like that, but I think they're still like ingrained in a lot of guys, and it's just very frustrating for me, you know, to see that, because it's like, especially guys, check your friends, man. Yeah, if you see them making a girl uncomfortable, you know, fucking put them in check. But
there's a lot of shit like that happens where like, oh, it's my friend, he didn't mean it, or blah, 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 and it goes unspoken of 100%.
Yeah, you know, and it just becomes like adapted. And so anyway, again, not to get into a heavy subject, it's just something that's been on my mind. Yeah. Like, do you have any like perspective on it? Like,
yeah, I mean, I worked in the ski industry for how many years, and that is heavily male dominated. I've been pretty lucky over the years, but like, yeah, you always have a run-in with someone and you're just like, okay. I had a guy come in, like, this is kind of a niche story, but I had a guy come into the rental store asking for snow blades on a POW day. And I was like, dude, it snowed 30 centimeters outside. Like, what are you doing you're not going to have fun. Like, take my word for it. You're not going to have fun on these. Take real skis. And his girlfriend was like saying the same thing, like, no, or just snowboard. He's like, no, you're just jealous because I'm going to be going faster than you. And then like an hour later, I see them.
What a fucking shitty response to say to your own girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. Yeah.
And then an hour
Exactly the
later,
type of shit I'm
It's
talking
like
about.
a shitty,
exactly.
shitty game of rock, paper, scissors, and you already think you're winning.
Yeah.
I saw the snowblades on the rack outside for an hour that day. So I knew that he obviously agreed with me, but was too freaking proud to walk in and say, okay, you were right, like give me some real ski. And like he did end up coming in actually and asking for like, well, just give me a long ski, but give me the shortest one you can. And I'm like, I'm gonna tell you right now, like you're not gonna have fun on these. Get the upgrade, get a real POW ski. If you can ski like you're saying you can ski, you're gonna really enjoy this ski. No, I don't want to pay the extra $10. I'm like, all right, have fun. Not my problem. But anyway.
So. Oh, no, absolutely. No, thank you for sharing. Like,
but it's just one of those things where you like, I work here and I like, sorry, it sounds like weird, but like, I know my shit.
Yeah.
Don't doubt what I'm telling you right now. Like,
no, that's 100%. You know what? I was working at the first weed shop that I worked at, and I remember kind of a more like older gruff guy like having a conversation with the girl that I worked with, and she was like explaining to him everything so meticulously, and like I knew my shit, but I was still starting out, you know. And I can admit it, I didn't know as much as her, not nearly as much as her. And it's like, and he kind of like, you know, yeah, okay, and she's like, well, for these reasons, you know, you might like this, and then trying to actually explain why you might like this product better than the other. And I'm just there, and he like looks at me and he's like, well, what do you think, bro? You know, and I'm just standing behind the cash like doing nothing, like I'm just like standing there, and I'm just like, well, I don't know. She knows a lot more than I do, man. Like you should probably take her suggestion, you know? Like, and anyway, I know there was kind of like a curveball thing to kind of like bring into the podcast, but
no,
honestly, it's just,
for sure.
I appreciate you sharing it because it's just things that, I don't know, we talk about a lot of like vulnerable things on this podcast, and we like, you know, we talk about community and building positivity, and it's something that honestly is kind of kills a lot of my positivity that I just witness, you know, on a day to day, and it's like, I'm just getting to the point where it's frustrating because I've even seen like a girl that I like, someone that I know, you know, I care about a lot, and it was like to see them in a situation where a guy was like almost like putting them on the spot, and I heard about it after, and it was like, oh, like, you know, hey, like whatever, can I have your number? And like, oh, that's what I was gonna call my firstborn, and like, yeah, you know, the name and stuff, and it's just like, oh, cool, like, and it's just so unprompted, and it's like you've only like talked to this person for like 2 minutes, you know, you don't even know who they are, and but this was the part that got me is. I feel bad that some people probably feel like this. I'm sure some women would maybe be like, no, fuck that, and shut it down. But like, she felt so kind of like uncomfortable having to deal with it that he asked for her number, so she actually gave it to him. And gave the real number because it's like, she feels like, the situation arises where someone will call right away to see if it's real. And guys will do that shit.
I hate that.
Like, call to see if it's real and see if it's ringing. It's like, oh, your phone's not ringing.
I've never ever fucking done that once.
No, same.
on,
That was probably because I don't really get those numbers.
They've got to give you one first, right? To be able to verify.
Well, it's probably because I'm not asking really too, right? So.
Oh, snap.
I've only done it like a couple times.
But that fucked with me. Like, that fucked with my head. I was like, you feel so uncomfortable and so like almost powerless in a situation that you're like, oh, in case they do this, like that's my reaction to it. And I was like, that's bullshit, man. Like,
you 100%. I mean, I want to say it's getting better, but I think the pandemic has brought out the worst in more people, and it's like it's getting worse. I had a guy.
It shows. People are seeing.
Yes.
It. Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Like working in the ski industry, I never, from a coworker standpoint, I never felt like, yeah, okay, I got made fun of because I was one of the only girls who worked in the shop, but not in a derogatory way. Like, nobody ever bugged me about it, you know, actually. But having supervisor on my name tag changed everything about how people talk to me. 100%.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So status.
And isn't it funny how fucking arbitrary that is?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a sticker with the word on it. And it's like, yeah, but maybe, you know, gauge the situation and the person you're talking to, you know? Like, actually take a second to, like...
Also, if you want to feel really important, swing your keys around. Yeah. People take you really seriously.
Sales tactic.
That's why I always walk around with my lanyard hanging out of my pocket. I feel like it makes me look official. You know? It's just like, and it catches on shit.
Sorry, sir or ma'am, are you the manager? Just give me 1 second here. Just go through your pockets. Just start flipping your keys. Like, actually, I am.
Do you see how many fucking keys are on this ring?
I'm going to swing them. I'm just going to...
I guess you didn't count all the keys on this ring over here, right?
Yeah, you're not hearing that jangling?
Okay, well noted. I'll definitely take that down for the
A coworker of mine last year, he was at the time like one of the upper management guys, and he hated having manager written on his name tag because people would bug him. And like same thing where he was in a retail environment that he doesn't always work in, and one of the girls knew a lot of about the goggles, and he didn't know a lot about the goggles. And it was one of those things where, oh, you're the manager, you've got manager written on your thing, so therefore you've got to know more about goggles. In reality, he didn't even go through those trainings. Like, she knows way more. And it's like, he's like, I hate having it. Like, I just, everyone's like, better at their job than me. Like,
that's it. It's like theoretically he might be good at managerial stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you know what I mean?
He doesn't do anything. And I was like, now that you mention it, I definitely feel like people respect me more now that I have the supervisor thing on me. Like, people come to me for problems or whatever, but yeah definitely treated differently with that.
And I appreciate you guys kind of like going into that with me really quick, because it was just something that's been on my mind lately. And again, like, it's just, we in life, you got to speak your truth, and you got to like bring these things up. Like, it's exactly what you said about people seeing these things happen more often. And it's not only this situation, just in general, but like, it's you just got to talk about it, I guess. I don't know. And that's why I was kind of sitting there, and you were just like, you were just saying that, and you were like, you just got to kind of, do your thing. And I was like, man, you're right. I just got to say it. Like,
I mean, there's a reason.
It. Like,
I wouldn't classify as this conversation super uncomfortable.
No.
Maybe not for me, maybe because I'm a male or whatever. But also, like, just even, I mean, it's so much more, like, it's out there now, you know what I mean? It's so much more talked about, and it should be talked about, honestly.
Absolutely. And you're right.
It sucks. It's just a fucking shitty thing in the end of the day.
Yeah,
like, inequality between, it's in the workplace between, men and women have been like that. For instance, there'd be like a woman who had the same job as a man.
Yeah,
for some reason, she gets paid. It's less, and it's the same job title. And, I mean, you don't really see that as much, I don't think, in, especially Canadian government, from what I'm aware of. But you may, and even maybe private sectors are getting a bit better too as well. But for sure, there's still some of that for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's the reality of it.
Just shout out to the fucking powerful ladies out there killing it, like the two ladies you look up to doing the design shit. Like, Blunts and Beans, for listening to the podcast sometimes. Like, they're out in Alberta. These two ladies that own their own, like, they send like locally sourced coffee beans and like blunt wraps. And like paraphernalia and stuff, and like locally sourced stuff, like to people as like a gift package kind of thing, almost like ahead of time branding towards like a business that's around cannabis consumption and things like that. And it's just like, fuck yeah, man.
What does the future look like? I ask this question to everybody because I'm genuinely curious. What does it look like for you and your brand and your artistic aspirations?
Yeah. I just want to keep building that Instagram, and if you see anything on there that you like, you can definitely message me about it, and I can definitely either print it onto something or get you what you want, kind of thing. If you like it, just DM me, because Etsy's not 100% up to date at the moment. But I mean, moving forward, I would like to move some units and then I don't know, probably revisit a new design in the summer and just kind of keep trucking along that way.
Nice.
And then for tattooing, I would really love to get into it full time. I think that's kind of, I'll have my little I do have a studio at the moment, which is really nice. We have a spare bedroom, so work out of there, which is really nice, but I haven't had time. I'm just
so busy.
So busy.
I'm stoked to work on the new piece with you too.
Yeah. I would love to do bigger pieces too, like, like
remember what
full
I was
size. Yeah.
Back. Thank you. So, Leah, if you're listening, don't tell Mia this, but it's my niece. But I'm actually, we're hoping to work on a thing that's like actually like art that Mia made that I have in my room. That would just be like the tattoo would be that, like, kind of on my back. It's like Jessa said she'd fucking start that. So that's
that'd be sweet. That'd be awesome. Yeah. And then I don't know. We'll see what happens. I fantasize about moving home some days, and then I'm like, I really need a mountain though. Not just comforten, but you're just not quite there yet. Got some growing to do.
Well, honestly, thank you so much for coming on our podcast today. It was very insightful. We learned a lot. Again, thank you so much for the shirts.
Yeah.
These are amazing.
Yeah, we'll have to talk, have a real, come up with a plan for what you guys want to do. But
100%.
This is definitely one of the coolest things I've gotten in my life. It was genuinely shocking.
Everybody on listening, audio or YouTube. Links are going to be in the description for Jessa Jade. And yeah, Kayo-Tea as well. Like our shit, don't like our shit. It's all good. We're going to be here, as you can see. And as the t-shirt reads, don't be tomorrow guy.
Yeah, I ain't no tomorrow guy, yo. And honest, Shaded Jade. Keep your
Jade.
what do they say? Your ear to the pavement.
Yeah.
Keep an eye out for Shaded Jade coming around with some good clothing drops, yo. We're gonna be rocking that shit as soon as we get
And I'll
some.
have a font soon too, like a whole typeface.
Do you have a name for it yet?
I don't.
Okay, that'll be our next mission.
Come up
for
with
the
a
next
name for the
podcast.
typeface.
Killer.
So guys, well, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
Signing off.